Prospects. We all get excited about prospects, don't we? And thanks to hockeyprospect.com, and that's a plug, because hockeyprospect.com gives me this information this season, because last year I was clueless about prospects. It's the only spot where, other than math, where basically like I'm like, I remember, I don't know, yeah, it sounds good, sure, all right, we'll go with that. So I asked them, I sent an email and I said, all right, talk to me about guys who are looking like they're moving up. So this is for players who look like they're having a very strong argument made that they should move up from where their draft position was for 2019. And I said, this looks like the Jack Hughes draft, so let's talk about somebody who's not Jack Hughes. Kako is the first one I want to talk about. He's playing in Turcotte. 16 games, 3 goals, 7 assists for him, 10 points. He's closing the gap with Hughes. Hughes is off to a slow start. Maybe better suited to play as center than Hughes. So very often you'll see GMs at the draft table looking for a center. Kotkaniemi in Montreal is an example of that. Yes, Zadina had all that raw talent, but Kotkaniemi was the center, so Montreal felt that the combination of the skill and him being a center where Montreal needed help meant Kotkaniemi was the one to go with. So maybe Kako is a guy that a team could see and go, you know what, maybe we'd prefer to have him. And where this could happen is simple. You have the number 1 draft pick in the draft. You decide, I don't know if Hughes is a guy we need, but everybody else really wants Hughes, so you might be able to get into a bidding war. Looking at you, Colorado. He lacks the explosive skating of Hughes, Cozens, or Turcotte. So you're blazing speed in the first round, Hughes, Cozens, and Turcotte. Reminder, there are plenty of players who right now in the NHL are star players who the knock on them when they were junior age was, well, their skating's a little bit, Okay. Spencer Knight is the top goaltending prospect, likely a first-round pick, and maturity is the word on him. That he's mature, he's good, he's fast, he looks as close to an NHL-level goaltender as you're going to see a junior-age player. He's playing in the U.S. National Development Team program. You're going to see a lot of that because, again, the Americans are getting really, really good at developing prospects. 2.73 goals against, 914 save percentage, and he plays well whether he's facing a ton of shots or not facing very many at all. He's very mentally aware at all times, which, of course, with goaltenders, we see it at the NHL level. Some goalies don't do as well when they don't face as many shots, and some have a hard time when they're facing a ton. So if he's good at both, that makes him a good pick. Plus, look how many goaltenders in the league right now are having iffy starts to the year, and teams might be going, you know what, we could use a goalie. If he's as good as a first-round pick, he might go earlier than expected. I'm going to butcher this name. Vasily Podkolzin. Yeah, that's as close as I'm going to get. Potentially top 10 pick, Russian. HockeyProspect.com picked Kravtsov. Remember, Kravtsov was picked in the top 10 this year. They called that last year. It was one of the reasons they reached out to me. They're like, we called this. Let's work on this so that you're not as shocked next year with the draft. Plays a complete games at both ends of the ice, and again, it's skating. He's putting up decent numbers at lower leagues in Russia. St. Petersburg for both of these. For the VHL, 6 games, 1 goal. In the MHL, 10 games, 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points. So he's playing at the lower levels. But again, if skating's the drawback, you can fix that. If he's got all the other skills, you can fix that. And not only that, but there are plenty of players who... Really the skating issue isn't as important when they're rookies as it is when they're 29, 30, 31. That's when the slower skaters really start to become apparent because they don't have that next level. Alex Turcotte has great skating, sense, and vision. He's seen as less dynamic than Hughes and Podkolzin. But he's played 1 game for the juniors. The under-18 team, he's played 3 games. He's got 1 goal, 1 assist for the under-18 team. Again, U.S. National Development Program, National Team Development Program. They are running the table, it would seem. And I got the T and the D in the wrong spots on the other 2 underneath, so just don't pay attention to that. But yeah, there's going to be some Americans taken early on in this draft. Trevor Zagra, skilled center who might be too unselfish on the ice. Now because it's American, it might be Zagras, or Zagras. Zagras could be it too. There's 3 different ways it could be pronounced. I don't know. Somebody will tell me. Somebody will tell me in the comment section, right? I might as well get butchering the names out of the way now, right? U.S. National Development Team Development National Development Team Program. Yeah, four games, 2 goals, 6 assists for him. Under 18, he's played 13 games, 6 goals, 14 assists, 20 points. If he's a skilled center who might be too unselfish, I'm looking at Adam Oates when I hear that comment. And it's because Adam Oates put up a ton of assists, but he could have scored so many goals if he'd shot the puck more often. Look at the stats he had the year that Cam Neely was hurt. He put up 40 goals. And it was like, okay, he can score. And then Healy came back and he went back to just passing all the time. Matthew Boldy needs to work on his skating, but has all the other power forward tools. So if you're looking for a power forward for the national development team, he's played 5 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. The under 18, he's got 14 games played, 12 goals, 6 assists, 18 points. So even though it's a junior program, it's an under 18 program, those 12 goals in 14 games are going to get scouts talking. And if you've got power forward tools, somebody somewhere is going to take him. And he may end up getting taken earlier. And again, it's skating. A lot of these guys will drop early on because of skating, but if the rest of the tools are there, slowly they'll start to go up in the draft because some scouts are going to be like, man, I'm not a huge fan of the skating, but look at everything else he's got. So, Lassie Thompson is the last one I'll talk about here. Mobile defenseman, and he's playing for the Kelowna Rockets. I've talked about this before, and in the email I got from my contact at hockeyprospect.com, he said, Kelowna is a defenseman factory, and it's true. And he's played 17 games for Kelowna Rockets, 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points. This is the newest shiny toy they've got on the blue line, and somebody's going to take him, odds are, in the first round. Very strong on the puck with some offensive upside. So it sounds like he's very solid defensively, very smart, very sound at his own end, good at protecting the puck, and has the offensive instincts and makes a really good first pass, which is underrated, isn't it? Because it's not a sexy thing. You don't very often hear people saying, that defenseman, that first pass though, huh? No, you hear about the guy with the big shots, and you hear about the guys, make the big hits. That guy who knows exactly where to put the puck with that first pass coming out from behind the net or crossing their own blue line, they don't get as much attention. But that is a very important part of the game. And if he's good at that, and if the offensive side of things can stay where it's been so far, 7 goals in 17 games is pretty darn good for a blue liner. He could surprise some people. So again, I just wanted to talk about people who are being talked about by scouts right now as potentially rising in the draft. And Kako may make this more of a 2-person number 1 overall draft than we've heard about so far. But we'll see if it stays that way. We'll see if Hughes' slow start compared to what was expected continues, and if his rise continues. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, especially for those of you who watch the junior hockey and there's 2019 age guys that you've had your eye on. Let me know who you think's going to end up being a steal out of a draft. And I know this draft is seen as not being as star-studded as other drafts. Do you know the funny thing though is, when we reach June of 2019, there's going to be a lot of these prospects that end up being pretty decent NHL players. Remember, the 2017 draft wasn't supposed to be fantastic either, and there's this Pettersson guy at 5 who turned out to be pretty good. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And yes, I intend to do one video every month where we will take a look at the 2019 draft class. Today I wanted to look at guys who were making that rise in the draft and being talked about the most by the scouts. And we'll come up with different topics month by month. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.